Hi and welcome to Pumpkin's Nail Station. First of all I want to say I'm sorry I've been absent really for the last week or 10 days. I've not been too well, haven't been able to use my left arm very well, and I've had a bit of a chest infection as well, so I'm still not perfect, but I decided to do this video. It's the Polygel sculpting video that was highly requested from a giveaway post that I did to do with this nail here. So I'm just going to show you this. This was the nail that, you know, I had no idea how this turned out so well for my first go when I managed to get the polygel onto the nail, because the first time I dispensed any polygel I put it on something like this, and then I found it difficult to get it from there to there, so I scrapped that, and then I've got the polygel from the tube onto I think I used a spatula or something at the time, and then put that onto the nail. But this is what the back of the nail looks like. It has been filed because actually I wasn't expecting to have to show this to anybody. So yeah, so this is the nail. And how I've been practicing is I've been using these claw nails backwards like this in the flexi finger to create a flat nail, like a free edge, kind of like that. So to create something like that, that's how I've been working. So you can see that that's the back end of the nail, and it runs up to about there, and then that's where I built the nail from. So that is the first nail that I've ever done. After that video was posted, I did practice another one while I was sat on my bed, and this was it. And this one actually came out shiny as well, as you can see. So let me just take this out of here and pop it in there like that. So that's what it looks like that way, and that's what it looks like back to front. So yeah, so that was my second try. I just did a slightly shorter one because actually I did put too little polygel on, so I'm still learning about, you know, quantities for the right shape of nail. And this one again was a mistake how I did this shape, because I put too much on, so I ended up building a square shape. So I'm still learning. I did file a bit underneath there because I thought it looked a little bit bulky underneath, or I just wanted to thin the nail out. So that's another one that I've done. This is one, just a plain builder one, nothing on it, no polish. I have noticed that my shaping is completely out on some of the nails. It's like I round it at the bottom, and then it's like I bring the brush straight up there. That looks like it should have a little bit more on that edge there, maybe. And again, that's a smooth nail underneath, and that's there. Look, you can see where the nail stops there, and then I start building from there. This is an old nail what I did, an old builder gel nail. It's not very good, it's quite wonky and bent, just sort of dips in there, but yeah, that's smooth as well. I'm just assuming it's how long it's left sat on here, and that's why it goes smooth, because I'm not the fastest at building it, so I think that's what happens. This is an overlay nail, and underneath there you can see it's all bitty and nasty because bits are coming over the edge of the nail. So actually I'm not that great on just doing an overlay with this stuff. I'm still learning it. And dual forms, let's move on to that. These are my dual form attempts, if I've got all the bits here. Two of them are in half, they broke because they was just way too thin. That one's quite cloudy. I don't know if the camera is picking that up. It's quite cloudy. This one is quite patchy as well. This was probably my best attempt, my third try, but again I still think it's a bit thin and I got the shaping all wrong. The sizing, I put on a nail that was too small. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going with that one. So that's all my nails that I've showed you. So today I'm gonna do a quick demo using the clear gel-like polygel. And yeah, so I'll just get everything ready, just get the nail in there and the form on, and then I'll be right back. Right, so I'm back. So I'm going to be putting the base coat that I'm using is a Canny rubber base system. There isn't, I don't think I'm using it for any special reason or anything, it's just the thinnest one that I have. So I'm just going to buff this nail surface up a bit as if I would my own nail to mattify it a bit, and then I would just get some isopropyl alcohol on this and wipe it off. Then you would put all your primer and dehydrator and everything on there if it was your own nail, but this is a false nail so I won't do that. So I just picked this rubber base system out of the base coats that I have because it's the thinnest one that I had, and I found that it's worked okay, so I'm just going to keep using this one. So we just apply this as if you would a regular base coat on a gel manicure. So make sure it's nice and thin. You don't have to cut the edge as far as I know, but you know, like I say, I'm not saying that I'm doing it right and this is the way to do it. This is just really me showing you how I do it. So my lamp is actually over there, so I'm just going to cure this and then I'll come back rather than keep you waiting and wasting your time. Right, so I'm back. So I've put this base coat on, I've attached the form. I can do a video another time on attaching a form, but basically the only special advice I could give you when you put it on is to make sure the nail is completely flat. So on my own nails sometimes I just push a cuticle tool down the thingy and I push it up, you know, like fit it under the nail like that, and it helps me. So it helps me to get my nail completely flat onto the form, and I have extremely curved nails, so hence why I do sometimes push something just to give me that little bit of extra push underneath the nail. So next you're going to need your polygel brush, which is a double-sided brush with a brush on one side and a spatula on the other. I would recommend one of these brushes. The bristles are just a little bit nicer than using a cheap brush, you know, something like that. They just feel nicer, so it just feels totally different on the actual polygel itself. So I'm just going to get some clear polygel. So, oh, and one more thing, some people don't cleanse the top of the nail after they've put the base on, but I have, because I find that a matte surface is easier to attach the polygel onto. So we'll see how we get on with attaching the polygel in a minute. So I'd probably get, you know, it depends on what size nail you want to do. So I've just got something like that. So they say sometimes it's like, you know, the length of the nail altogether where you want to go to or something. I don't know the exact saying, but yeah, I don't even know what I'm on about. So I would position this ball near the cuticle area and try and push your spatula back off the nail like that. So I am getting better at doing that. So, and then the next thing we're going to need is just some, I'm using isopropyl alcohol. I'm just using this one, so it's nothing special, just from 90% from eBay. I got that from. So you'll just dispense it into a little dish or a Dap and Down dish. I'm just using you know, one of those things what you use what you put your candles in. So like a tea light holder, something like that. So you cover the back end of that. Make sure you've cleaned your brush thoroughly in the alcohol. Don't put it'd be a mistake to put a soap brush straight onto the nail. So what you do is you just dab off the excess. The nail needs to be wet but not soaking. The next tip that I've got is position your brush at a, I think it's 45-degree angle, like that, to work on the cuticle area. So you just pat, trying to lift the brush up so you can see it. So you just pat in back, right downwards, like that. So you're just pushing the brush back, but you're just patting gently backwards and smoothing it out like so, and then lift your brush and just start bringing it down like so. Probably got enough on here for a long nail, to be honest. Smooth it all out so that you've got a nice, be careful in the middle, because where you've positioned the polygel, the ball essentially is going to help you build your apex. So now we're going to start shaping the nail. So you can use these guides on the forms to shape the nail. So you might need, if you've got a little bit of a funny angle there, just drag some of it down and bring some back, so that you create, so you're filling in them side gap things there that I've created somehow. So you just bring some of the polygel down and fill it in like so. And the same here, if you've created like any little gaps, just try and fill them in somehow, and then just start shaping. This is quite difficult to do upside down, back to front. So I'm not saying this is going to be perfect, but I'm going to try and smooth this out. If you do bring any of it back down here, remember, always just push, tap that bit down towards the cuticle to keep it thin. When it starts to feel sticky, that's when you need more of this. And now I'm just going to continue to try and shape this part of the nail. I mean, you can always file a bit more as well, so it doesn't have to be perfect. But yeah, so I'm just going to cure this in a minute. I could keep playing around with this all day. The more you play about with it, the more it's going to create bubbles, air bubbles. You just try and smooth everything out that you can, even your edges. And so yeah, so basically I think I'm just going to cure this now. I don't know what it's going to look like, but we'll give it a go. So before you cure this, I would tip this upside down. So if it was your own finger, or if you're doing, you know, if you're doing friends to practice on, or whatever, just tip the hand upside down for about 30 seconds or something like that. That will help draw. I could give you a bit more of an apex there. And then I'm just going to go and cure this. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, so I'm back. So I've took it out and I've just given it a little wipe over. I mean, I didn't have to because it wasn't tacky, but I don't know, I think it's because it's gel, I feel like I have to. So yeah, so now what we're going to do is remove the foam, and we're going to see what it looks like. So here we go. So this is what it looks like. So I mean, you will get bits that you've got to reshape, but the actual underside of the nail doesn't look too bad. I actually forgot to pinch it. So one thing I did forget to mention is once you put it in the curer, after 10 seconds or 15, take it out and put some of these onto it and give it a pinch. I mean, you could probably do it now, see if it helps, because this will just help give you a better C-curve, so I'm informed on YouTube. So I think you just do it like this. I think you just put it at the side like there, like that. Yeah, hold it straight. So yeah, I think you just clamp it like that, and oops, it's eaten them. So I've scratched that now, but yeah, but basically it has pushed it in a little bit more. It has given it a bit more of a C-curve. So I suppose you could do it afterwards. So we'll just take this out and show you what the back of or side of a typical nail would look like if you was using a flexi finger. Mine always has some, you know, like a little bit on the side there and a bit on the back bit that I have to file because I haven't quite mastered that yet, but it is getting better. It's getting less, like less bits on the back than what I usually get. But yeah, all in all, I'm happy with how this nail's turned out. See if I can zoom you in. So yeah, all in all, I'm quite happy with it. So because I work on my flexi finger, if I do get anything on the back, I would just usually just give it a little buff off. And if there's anything on the side wall that I don't want there because I'm using a training finger, I would just use this to get rid of it. It's just so it goes in and out smoother, really. So I just do that, just so it goes in and out of the flexi finger better. So yeah, I mean, I don't even think I got any air balls in this one. Wow, well that's a first. I usually get the odd air bubble in the nail itself, but this time it didn't happen. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to file it down a little bit. So just going to pause the camera while I re-stick this to the table. So now what I would do is I would just give it a file, you know, just to get any rough bits off, you know, that might be at the bottom. This is really hard to do with very limited space, but we'll go with it. So yeah, so I mean, you all know how to file typically, don't you? I do think my shaping needs to be better, but you know, I don't think they're too bad to say I've only done a handful of nails. You need to probably push this in a little bit as well, as it will keep coming out if you're using a flexi finger. I do recommend these, by the way, you know, for practicing anything like this on, because without it I would not be as good as what I am now, I don't think. And yeah, so I'll put the details for the flexi finger in the description box. I will have a discount code in October from the first, I'll put it in the description box, but I can't remember what it is off. I think it might be Pumpkins Patch 10 or something, because it's an Instagram code, but I can share it with you guys as well. So I'll put that in the description box. So yeah, so we'll carry on talking about this now. So just clean up the nail with all the dust. And probably what I would do is I would give it a buff, because it does feel a little bit like it needs it. So I'm probably going to do that, and then I'll come back and show you the finished nail. Right, so this is, I'll just show you quickly the finished nail, and then I'll top gloss it. So yeah, there's no bumps in it. There's actually no air bubbles in this one, so I was really impressed with myself for that one. But yeah, I do prefer these because I like the smooth finish that you get from a paper form. So yeah, and I do recommend these flexi fingers for practicing on, because without them and also without baby girl nails as trick for getting these and turning them around, I wouldn't actually be, you know, as finding it as easy as what I am, to be honest, because it was the flexi finger and using these back to front and these forms that I saw on Girly Nails 66. So collectively all that together has helped me to create nails like this. So yeah, so I thank you all, Flexi Finger, Baby Girl Nails and Girly Nails, because actually everything helps. So I'm just going to go and top coat this and then I'll be back. Okay, so this is it with the top gloss on. So that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me do this. But yeah, all I can say is just keep practicing, and if you really do want to learn, then I would recommend, you know, even if you only bought a flexi finger, I think it would help with your learning of this, because without it, actually I don't think I would be as good as would be doing it as well as what I am, if I'm honest. So yeah, so that's everything then. So I may do a fix on this nail. If anybody wants to see it, comment below and I'll film me doing a nail on this finger. This one that I did to fix a broken nail has been on now since the 11th of September, so that's doing well. That's my natural nail up to about there, so it's grown a little bit, so because it was a bit lower down. So yeah, so that bit's what I sculpted on myself, and I think that actually turned out well. So yep, so you'll see it better when I do my removal video, because I'm going to remove my dip powder next on film. So yeah, so that's everything. So thanks for watching. Bye.